A child is born, a new arrival on our planet. What future does he or she face? Nearby live some of the poorest people on Earth, occupying some of its deadliest slums. These children, however, are lucky. Their first view of the world was a well-equipped hospital unit. Humaira works here as a neonatal specialist. She too is lucky. Her place of work, and therefore the job itself, was created by development finance. Without this, her life would have been uncertain, the future bleak. The future continues to be very uncertain for many millions of children, as well as many more adults throughout the world. Why? And what can be done to improve their prospects? What are the obstacles? Ill health and disease, lack of clean water, poor education, illiteracy, restrictions imposed by culture and gender. All of these drag down aspirations and limit choice. The least developed nations of the world have more than their due share of such problems. Geography, geology and climate have not favoured them, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa. By contrast, some nations have been blessed by good fortune and natural resources. One of these is Saudi Arabia. Jeddah. In this building, decisions are made that have changed and continue to change many people's lives around the world for the better. The Islamic Development Bank, or IDB, had its beginnings here more than 30 years ago. It's now an international institution based in Saudi Arabia. The kingdom plays generous host to the IDB and to a mini United Nations, consisting of its 56 member countries. These include a few very wealthy nations, but also some of the world's poorest and least developed. The mission of the IDB is to promote a cooperative approach to achieving comprehensive human development under a number of headings. These include alleviating poverty, addressing health, education and governance, providing hope, generally improving prospects for some of our planet's poorest people. The intention behind IDB's efforts is to correct the imbalance between rich and poor nations, empowering people in the less developed countries, restoring their dignity. How does this work in practice? Working generally within the 56 membership countries, IDB is a global institution that operates at grassroots level and not only in the member countries. There are sizable expatriate populations in many Western countries, France and the United Kingdom, for example. In London, an Islamic community and day centre has been funded and set up by IDB. This provides a focal point and meeting place in a friendly but culturally alien environment. Mira El-Char, a postgraduate student at Cambridge University, is a long way from her home. An expert on blood transfusion technology, she's in England on an IDB-funded scholarship. The core activities of IDB are where they're most needed. South-South cooperation, the wealthy member countries investing in the future prosperity of the less developed member nations. In Africa, IDB is funding bilingual education in schools, teaching the knowledge children will need as they grow up and their nation develops. In Yemen, adults are trained to teach reading skills to mothers, skills that can be passed on to the next generation. Tajikistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, all have benefited from IDB support and funding for major education and university projects. Technical education provides highly valued earning power in less developed economies. Poverty and disease strike at the heart of human well-being and security. In sub-Saharan Africa, IDB is funding treatment for easily curable diseases such as malaria and cataract blindness, improving the lives of thousands of people, enabling them to provide an income for their families. IDB has set up extensive primary healthcare support in Bangladesh and India. Clean water is a basic need, but one that's often lacking. A huge dam is planned across the River Niger, with funding coordinated by IDB. It will keep the river flowing all year round, improving irrigation and fishing. Hydroelectric power and rural distribution schemes. Agriculture and food security. Roads and infrastructure projects. Microfinance to help entrepreneurs make a start in business. Fostering trade between the IDB member nations. It's all part of the continuing South-South cooperation. Some IDB projects focus on special needs. A centre for the blind. Here they can learn to cope with their disability. In 2004, the tsunami devastated the coast of Indonesia. Massive aid projects were put in motion by IDB, involving new housing and an orphanage for the many children left parentless by the disaster. Now, these children can look forward to a better world and prospects when they're adults. All over the world, both member countries and non-member countries are being helped by IDB's pioneering work. Sharia-compliant financing in the form of grants and soft loans for specific projects is channeled through a network of regional and local offices. IDB has a AAA credit rating. It operates as a major investment bank when a suitable opportunity is identified. The reconstruction of the Hajj terminal for pilgrims in Jeddah is funded by the IDB. It will benefit the people of many nations. Roads, dams, canals and power plants, all are monuments to the achievements of the IDB. An even greater monument will result from the IDB's vision plan for the future. These children will inherit this future. This neonatal unit is in India. It's not an IDB member country, but is one of the many nations to benefit from the IDB's development aid. The Islamic Development Bank, part of the global village, serving humanity, a partner working alongside other development agencies to meet people's needs.